Greetings, friends. How do we enter the heavenly realm and how do we live in the heavenly realm? I don't think we have to have any anxiety or fear about this because the good news is, thanks to Jesus and his finished work at the cross, we're already in the heavenly realm. We already live in the heavenly realm. The Apostle Paul tells us in Ephesians 2 5 to 6, even when we were dead in our transgressions, made us alive together in Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up with him, and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. That's the good news, friends. See, we're already seated in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. We're not separated from Christ. We're in Christ Jesus. That's the good news. His grace is really enough. His grace is really sufficient. Now we're called to remind ourselves, to have an awakening, to remind one another of what's already true. This is the great awakening period where people are waking up to the reality of who we really are. You see, we've we've already we we've already we've always been God's children. We've always been made in his image and in his likeness. It's not something we have to strive to become. We don't strive to become children. You didn't strive to become your father and your mother's son or your father and your mother's daughter. You are always your father and your mother's daughter, and we're always children of God. We're called to have an awakening now. In the heavenly realm, sickness and death have been annihilated by the resurrected and ascended life of Christ. And we're called to set our affections on things above, not on things on this earth. Colossians 3:2. We're called to put on the new self. And even though we're not clothed without dwelling from on high, we have the promise that this mortal will put on immortality, that Christ is all and is in all. This is really true. This is the great reality. Christ is all and is in all. Our adversities, our sins, our trials, our troubles don't separate us from God. No, we call to live in the reality, to have a great awakening. We are truly one human race in Christ Jesus. And when we live in this reality as one people, as God's children, we live in the heavenly realm.